All right, this is Cameron Townsend with Americus, and we will be doing the sound production portion of our teaching videos. So, we've learned the bow hold previously, the cello setup, and the left hand posture. So, what we want to do is I'm going to teach you what's called the D tetrachord, which is, as we played before, D, E, F sharp, and G. But this time we're going to apply the bow, and we're going to use some of the fundamentals of sound production as you know them, which is the contact point, which is where the bow meets the cello or whatever stringed instrument you're playing. So that would be the contact point where I set down the bow, and as it comes across where it should remain. Now, the bow speed often varies for whatever sound we want to get. If we want a louder sound, we'll use more bow. If we want a quicker sound, we may use slightly more bow than we would normally. Also, if we want an accent, of course. And that would look something like if we want to speed up the bow, it'll start to get louder as we go along. And then, so we have contact point, we have bow the speed, or we have the speed of the bow, my bad. And then we have the weight of the bow, which when we apply too much weight, string produces a very crunched sound. And we can't have that when we're playing. No, we can't. So using all three of these in tandem, which is just all three of the right blends and elements, which we will learn as we go along in the cello, make for a good tone and good sound production. So here you go. So go ahead and set up that bow. And as we played last time, can you try arco on, can you just apply your bow so I can see how your bow hand looks? So yes, your wrist is still very curved. Still very curved. You adjusted the shoulder. Make sure you're adjusting. Make sure you're adjusting the bow. See, now look, that looks a lot better. Of course, we can't really play like this, can we?
Yeah.
So what's going to happen is we're going to rotate the bow. No. We're going to keep the bow at the same right here. Sorry. And then we're going to rotate the bow like this. You're still pronating the wrist a little bit. And so that'll keep the bow even across the string, but then we can still move it across each string. And that'll help you keep a more straight wrist as we break those habits. So, can you play an open D for me, which is that second lowest string? Perfect. On cello, it becomes really easy since we have a peg and we're not standing. It becomes really easy to start to move the bow down or across the string. It becomes really easy to slide. I have a lot of trouble with that too, so that's something we need to pay a lot of attention to. So, can you try that again and just try to keep the contact point constant? Be careful of the front of your wrist.
I'm trying not
You're
to.
okay. Way better, way better. All right, if you're ready, can we try that tetrachord I told you about, which is D, E, F sharp, and G. Very nice. We did slide around a little bit there, so just pay a little more mind to that. I felt you could use a bit more weight and bow just to get a more clear and resonant sound, but besides that, I feel like you did very well. Great job, Americans.